Hey everybody, Wendy Clinky here with Blue Cat Studio. Welcome to another edition of Technique Tuesday. My house is so cold, I actually fell asleep on the couch and was like, oh my gosh, I missed my time slot. So we're coming on a little late. It's cool. Actually, my house isn't cold, I'm just cold. Okay, so today we're going to talk about washi tape. And washi tape is this glorious, cool, printed, fun Japanese tape, or I believe it's Japanese. Anyways, apparently I have mostly blues in this tub. I believe I have more washi tape elsewhere, but this is kind of the mishmash of color that I've got in front of me. Oh no, it's not just that. So anyways, you can buy like huge packs of it. Let me grab another one that I got, and you can find it on Amazon. Where'd it go? All right, never mind. I don't know where I put it, but I have this cool animal print one too. And so I think that stuff like this is really fun as an option to use when creating mixed media projects. Sometimes you want just a little bit of pattern, and buying a whole bunch of napkins gets really expensive. Sometimes tissue paper doesn't work. So you can use washi tape instead. And in fact, one of my inner circle projects that's coming up later this month is going to feature some washi tape. So let's just do a simple kind of Valentine with some of these. But I'm going to do this on a canvas. And hey there, Linda. Have you worked with washi tape before? Is that old news to you, or is this kind of new stuff? Again, any old pattern will do. We got all kinds of fun stuff. And you know what's cool about it is it's extra thin. But because I'm working with canvas, and it's like if you scratch your fingers across it, there's a lot of texture and bumps. And when you have a really smooth tape like this that's very light stickum, it doesn't always stick well. So the one way that I like to kind of prepare my stuff is, is with a little collage. You guys, I'm all over the place today. So there's some Mod Podge. I dropped my bag of washi tape in it. And what you can do is smooth the surface out by doing a collage with tissue paper. And because the washi tape has its own color, I can just do white tissue paper right over it, and it's going to smooth it way out. So now that I've done a whole lot of talking about what the heck we're doing, let's get to doing. So I'm going to place just kind of glue, right? Well, Mod Podge. And it doesn't have to be Mod Podge brand, whichever brand you happen to have on hand. Oh, Kitty, really? He's been Mr. Sociable today. I was in a conference call earlier today with like my entire crew, and there was like 70 people on the call, and he's just like sitting there in the window like, hey guys, what's happening? Luckily, work was totally cool with it, and I got like all these texts after, and they're like, hey, your cat's cool. Sometime. All right. So before he steps in it, I'm going to get this white tissue paper just placed right over the top. And, I'm going to let it go on rumply. I don't really care. But what it's going to do is it's going to kind of attenuate or soften that canvasy, fabricy structure so that it's a little bit softer. And then I'm just going to kind of tear. You could actually, Mod Podge and wrap the whole way around, but I'm just going to kind of tear at the edges, and we'll file down the edges and tweak it a little bit later. Oh, Angel says, fun times for my kitty. Oh yeah, he was like the star of the show. It was kind of cracking me up. Okay. So now that I've kind of got that base on there, it's still clear. It's still white. It kind of goes on clear. We're not going to be too worried about exactly how it looks. Next up, because this is now kind of a more papery texture and a little bit gentler, I'm going to grab a paint pen. Please let this be the working one, not the non-working one. And I'm going to draw a heart. And we're going to keep it really simple today with a heart. Plus, I've got this whole like idea of a bunch of these things, so I figure we'll just do one of them today and call it good. So now that I've got the heart in place, let's just pick out some cool washi tape, right? So here's one that's got pink blossoms on it, and I'm just going to kind of tear it and lay it down. And I'm going to try and kind of follow a theme by choosing colors here that are sort of in alignment. These ones tend to have a lot of, it's like Chinese pagoda, I have cherry blossom themes. And you don't have to be super precise with it, right? We're just laying down quick bits of color, making it interesting. It's very, very thin, so you don't have to have a ton of fingernail. I sure don't. But sometimes finding that the edge and then getting it to peel up is a little bit of a a pain in the you-know-what. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. And every once in a while, your washi tape just really doesn't cooperate. That guy's peeling up a little. We're going to come over this later with some Mod Podge to kind of hold it down. But look at this. Isn't that fun? It just adds color really, really fast. And because this isn't just a washi tape project and we're going to do painting on it, I don't care about being precise in the edges. I just drew that line or the heart kind of as a guide so I'd have a rough sense of where stuff is going to be. All right, here's an interesting one. No, I don't want that one next to it. I think I'll have to space it. Maybe we will go with this guy. And so if you don't have washi tape and you're not quite sure, well, you can always find like the little 1 and 2 rolls from the dollar store. In fact, I had a really cool one. I don't know where it is. No, it ripped. Okay, well, we'll plug him in right here since he ripped. I found a cool one with flamingos on it. I was very excited about the flamingos. So it's very fine, and sometimes it messes with you. This might be one that's going to mess with me. And so on its own, I get really frustrated with washi tape because I don't feel like it really sticks very well. And that's why I like using it kind of in a collage environment. I got a little extra there. We'll set him aside. Maybe find an excuse to use them. What else? Oh, here's a sort of a blackish one. That's interesting. Again, I'm literally just diving into my stash here and just picking colors. Anyways, it's so thin that it does peel up pretty easily. That's why the Mod Podge on top is really nice. And I like it in collage because I can kind of tack it down, use other things to tack it down. And, oh, we were saying we wanted this guy. It's like, I knew there was a thing. Where'd it go? And so we're kind of doing a washi tape technique today. I needed a break from composition. We'll always come back to it. But I figure there's just so many fun things we can do. And, Valentine's, everyone's doing Valentine's crafts. We might as well do that, right? Okay. So look at all these fun colors we've got. A pack of napkins, because napkins are really cool for backgrounds because they're like a fine tissue paper. Shoot, I messed that guy up. This would cost me so much money to buy, a pack of napkins with all these things. And they're really hard to find. But washi tape again. You can buy any number of weird mishmash of stuff on Amazon, relatively inexpensive. In fact, my one set came with a whole bunch of these rolls. I think they all came in the same pack, or most of them did. And then it came with all these fun little skinny end pieces where you can tell they basically just trimmed the washi rolls, but then you get these super skinny lines. If you want to do like pinstripes on something, it's an option. And let's see, that's got a cool rose on it. So we'll try and get the rose in there. All right, so now we've kind of got a sense of where the stuff is. So I'm going to come over it again. Cat, really? No. He's about to gosh, he's all up in our space today. Okay, coming over it with the Mod Podge. And then I'm just kind of focusing on the edges. And if something starts to curl up a little bit, I'll even get a little bit of the Mod Podge underneath and then kind of get it back down. I feel like this is the only way I can be successful with Mod Podge. So if you can't tell, Cat is right here. He's just about 4 inches off camera. He's about to step on the keyboard, which I'm what would happen is he'd mess up the live. He'd hit exactly the button that shut this down. No. Okay, so if you want to add more texture, you can, but I feel like it's kind of fun to put most of the emphasis there. Oh, I've got some black and white. Do I have other black and white okay, so I have some simpler patterns. I might use just a little bit of these, I think. And again, you can just grab colors. You don't have to think about it. Just kind of lay the stuff out, do a thing. So I might just do kind of a bit of washi tape there. Maybe a bit of washi tape here. because it looks cool, right? So if you have wrapping paper, because you don't have washi tape, you could totally use wrapping paper. I like washi tape because, of course, it's sticky on the back. So all I got to do is lay it down to keep it mostly in place. When I work with wrapping paper and tissue paper, especially if I'm laying little pieces of it, you start to get like stuck to everything and a bit of a mess. So again, go with what you have. Don't feel pressure that you have to do washi tape, but I want to make sure that you know what cool tools and toys and things are out there so that you can really play. Oh, Linda says my cat is the same way when I start crinkling paper. That might be exactly it. Although quite honestly, it was like, I don't know. It was so weird today at work. I was laughing. And I was so glad everyone thought it was cool. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so unprofessional. But they loved it. All right, so I'm just getting a good blast on this guy to make sure it's fairly dry. And I think I'm done with my decoupage goo for now. So I'm going to grab one of my rinse waters. And let's see, I'm going to wipe it off first. Get some of the excess gunk out. And then just stick it in the thing to soak. Maybe dab at it a bit. So I always use a separate brush for my Mod Podge just because I do kind of slowly but surely ruin them. I cannot help myself. I really, really try, but I just kind of end up being a disaster. All right, let's clean up the excess tape so that we don't have everything in the way. Just shove it in the bin. That's why I love having a bin. You just literally throw everything in. And you don't have to do this on canvas. If you were doing it on like a piece of paper or in a sketchbook or an art journal, then that whole step of adding the tissue paper isn't really necessary. But I find that if I'm actually using canvas, then I need to kind of take it down a notch. So let's grab some Carousel Pink, Tutti Frutti. Yeah, let's do Carousel Pink. And I'm going to squeeze some Carousel Pink out here. Oh, shoot. I got to mix it. Look at that. There's the clear carrier stuff. Well, that just means it's going to be more highly pigmented since I got rid of some of the carrier. And if I need to do a wash or a semi-translucent thing, then I'll just use that. Okay, so we've got the Carousel Pink. We definitely want some white. Finally had to break out a new bottle of white. Mine was just dead. And per standard protocol, we need some fluorescent red. And then, of course, to make it fully complete, quinacridone magenta. All right, I'm going to go with a medium large flat brush. So this isn't the hugest one. It's maybe a 5/8 inch. It's a little bit more than half an inch. And let's mix us a bright screaming magenta. So I'm going to take some fluorescent orange and some magenta. You could also use like a really warm red in there, but I love what the fluorescent red, excuse me, I keep calling it orange, does. It just really pops it. And then a little bit of white. I think we'll just kind of come around. You can even kind of scrub a little bit, right? Like the beauty of mixed media and using all this stuff is you can really kind of play with how and where you place stuff. You can be accurate or inaccurate. You can even just kind of frame this guy here. Look at that. As I go over it, you can see the texture. There's like all the wrinkles and stuff. Get a little bit of white and just kind of blend it in a few spots. Maybe softening some of the edges of my washi tape. Softening just a little here and there. Softening a little here and there. And as I'm doing this again, we're just playing, right? That's what today is all about. It's just playing. I want to remind you that we're doing that big glass and resin workshop this Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Which of course is 4:30 p.m. California time. Arizona time is 5:30. Texas time, 6:30. New York time, 7:30. It's totally free. You just need to be in the Let's Paint with Blue Cat Studio group. And I've got a supply list posted and everything. All right, so these are like the little bits of edges of paper. I'm going to file those down when this gets dry. But even that right there with a mishmash, I literally just kind of took these colors and grabbed little bits of each and allowed it to kind of fill around the edges, being a little bit sloppy. I've got some white bits still showing. I can decide a little later if I want to do more, but look at that. We've got some good color now. So now I'm going to take a risk, get a little outside my comfort zone. I love the heart so much that it means I need to paint over it a little bit. So I'm going to kind of minimize the amount of pigment and paint on my brush and start to kind of drag little bits of the pink through and over. I think I want a little bit more white in there too, I think, because that's going to help it kind of pop. I want to kind of soften it. We don't want all that washi tape to be just like completely in your face, but I want it to peek through. So little bits here and there. I think I want some of this to still show. But now we've got a lot of like interesting color going on. A bit more dark around here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and offload my brush on my, where'd it go? Here it is. In the usual suspect. Wipe. And oh, I need a second rinse place because I don't need the Mod Podge. Made myself a fleece poncho today, i.e. I took a huge piece of fleece and cut a hole in the middle. It's like I could not warm up. So if you didn't have washi tape, you could totally just get like a collection of cool and interesting wrapping papers. Now, because these are fairly large designs, it might help to make the project a little bit bigger or get stuff with even smaller designs on them. Here's a super beat up piece, but I love the stripes. Again, that's all wrapping paper that I just kind of have floating around. Actually meant for wrapping presents and some blues. So again, don't feel like, oh, you have to go out and buy washi tape, but it's so much fun. I wanted you to see it. All right, so, oh, I got a spot I want to tweak here. I'm going to get a little bit of pink and white and just kind of smush over right there. I didn't want the washi tape peeking through. I want my edges of the heart a little bit harder. You guys, I've started finger painting more, and it's, let me tell you, there's like a catharsis to finger painting. Okay. Let's blow dry this guide, and then we'll come back in with some paint pens. Ooh, I just got Posca pens in the mail today. I'm super excited. But since I haven't primed any of them, I don't know if they're going to work. So you guys, I might just stick to black and white on this guy. And so we've already made this whole little project here in less than 20 minutes. And we could literally just fine tune it with a couple of paint pens and call it good. Or you can keep, working at it and just messing with it and going further and further. It's really going to be up to you. But because I do want to use paint pens, I really, really have to make sure that this surface is totally dry. Otherwise, death to your paint pens. And now they got the Poscas. Those are the high-end ones, the ones that everybody swears by. You better believe I'm going to take good care of them. But I saw color in here I think I absolutely have to use. So bear with me. We're going to break it out. Look at this color. We want this. So give it a really good shake. You can hear the ball bearings in there doing their thing. Twist it open. And then, of course, got to kind of activate it. Like I said, these suckers are brand new. My biggest fear is that since they came in a kind of a funky package, that like Amazon like sent me counterfeit stuff. Not that it was Amazon, but that, you know, someone packaged them that way. I'm like, where's the box? All right, well, while I'm waiting for that to do its thing, I think I can at least start with some white. Oh, wait. Here comes the paint. So these things take time. You've got to be patient. I probably shouldn't touch it with my finger since there's oils on it. But you can see the paint starting to come down the wick, I guess, or the nib. Okay, and then that color is coming out. Gosh, that was a gorgeous color. All right, here we go. I'm going to do this color because this is the color I want the most. So a little bit more. Come on, buddy. Kind of start with like a little outline of our heart just to sort of amplify where those edges are and help the pink out. What color is this? Does it say? Well, sure. If I could read Japanese, it probably says what color it is. It's the turquoise, though. So you get that little bit there. And I think I could even do a couple of layers here, kind of keeping it rough, right? So let it get wiggly jiggly, kind of around the edges. So the first one was kind of to help create that visual barrier. And now the next one just kind of adds a little bit more. Maybe do another one. I think it's still coming into these guys. Yep, I found a wet spot. Okay. All right. That's not showing up quite as much as I'd like, so I may need to kind of even color in part of this section here just to kind of really pop it forward a little. But I've got some neat colors going on here too. So I want to make sure that it's kind of an outline that is a little bit outside of the actual edge of the heart. I'm going to grab my big black one. These guys are always the bomb. Hey there, Sarah Elaine. Thank you for joining. It's good to see you. All right, here we go. So now we're going to come again with a little bit of the black. I'm kind of enjoying the teal that's out there, but the black line I think helps. And since we're here, I think I want to also maybe kind of along in alignment with this guy, kind of add some bumps. I feel like they're almost like little festive flag things. And then maybe I'll do another set right here. It's kind of over the black and white caution washi tape. Oh my gosh, that's like a mouthful. Caution washi tape. And then we could do, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a ruffle here. But again, here's where you get to play. You don't have to do ruffles on the whole thing. You could make it kind of uneven with ruffles in a few spots to kind of give it that ruffle feel. Maybe enhance the black a little bit in a few spots. Scritch, scritch, scratch. So this would be much rougher on the nib if it was pure canvas, which is also why I did that tissue paper coating. Thinking ahead, trying to protect my materials, love my stuff. So let's see. Come back in with some white. And I think I'm going to kind of amplify this here, mainly because we can, right? There's not necessarily rhyme or reason to this. All right, let me blast it. If I don't want to pick up black in my white nib because that'll ruin the pen. Again, it's awesome to get out there and be super creative and mess around and do all the stuff. Oh, and Sarah says, I love the reels you've been making and love my art style too. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think it's fair to say we're fairly eclectic around here. Some days you see something totally mainstream, and some days We're off on some rando tangent. Now I'm feeling very harsh. This is harsh, so I'm going to come in inside over that washi tape and kind of add another little heart here. And again, keeping it sketchy so that there's multiple lines. Yeah, that's better. That softens it a little bit. And then maybe add a couple of almost like shine lines here. Maybe some shine lines here. Feeling all Keith Haring right now, like. And I'm going to emphasize those with a little bit of black, just so you can kind of see them. And blast it again. And again, you can just keep playing, or you can kind of say, all right, this is good. I think we're where we want it to be. We can call it done. It's going to be really up to you. I'd like to bring a little bit more of this blue in. And so I'm going to do some kind of little ovally bits right along in here, just to add a little bit of texture inside, and then maybe some almost like pills or lozenges in terms of shapes, little tiny. So these are empty ovals, and these are like full ovals, I guess. And then a little bit of patchworky, just to kind of keep it fun. So if I bring that up, you can kind of see all the detail there. Again, we've just been sketching and playing. Sometimes, it's like really hard to get outside ourselves and give ourselves permission to just let go and be goofy and play. But I tell you, it's worth it, and you might surprise yourself. And you'll notice we kept it pretty simple here. That washi tape was a major, major, major shortcut. All right. So I think that's pretty good. Now, if I was really good at writing, I could write the word love in here. Should I try? I might ruin it. Should we try? Let's see if we can get away with this. We'll just do some basic cursive because my penmanship isn't amazing. L-O, give it a drop up. V, give it a drop. And then let's see, how do they do that? They kind of go like that. I don't know. That'll do. Okay, we did it. Maybe a few dots just for fun. No rhyme or reason to the dots, but just add a little texture, a little something. And there you go. We made ourselves a fun, goofy little Valentine. So you could also do this on watercolor paper, and you could send it like a postcard. This is actually a 5x7 canvas. I last year bought these cool envelopes and shoved them in and turned them into Valentines. So you could totally make canvas Valentines, or even turn them into art kits, you guys. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna call us done. We played for just about half an hour, came out with a fun, cute little piece, and I'll see you guys next time. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you want to join the art resin and glass workshop on Friday night, it's free to anybody who's in the Let's Paint with Blue Cat studio. We're going to be working a project similar to this, and it's going to be more about how to create it, and we're going to do it. So if you want to riff and make it your own and use different colors, by all means, go for it. All right, guys, I love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.